6 minutes after 9 o'clock, it is time to be in the garden with Carol Ann. She'll take you out to the garden and show you what you need to do to make it look a little bit better. Wait, you ever get that? Boy, that would be a great gig.
That'd be fun.
That'd be a great gig. That's just hire yourself out to do that. How you doing?
I'm good.
When I'm looking at you without my glasses, the blur makes it look like you got mascara on.
No.
For some reason. Must be weird.
Must be, yeah. Just the lighting.
Eyes. See, you don't wear glasses at all, do you?
No, sunglasses, but.
So you didn't have that reading thing happen yet, huh?
You're
lucky. You somehow.
I am, but there are times when I'm kind of going, okay, where's the large print page? Especially reading instruction labels and things like that. But, sometimes, it depends on lighting.
Which is important.
And things like that.
And what you do. I mean, what
I do. Well, that's it. It's and actually customers find it amusing when I'm trying to show them locate where it says whatever their problem is on a label and how to do it. And I'm going, okay, there's English, there's Spanish, where's large print? We'll find it here in just a moment.
Well, and one of the takeaway messages from your program is to follow instructions.
Instructions. That is my, and I said it last week to a group of people we were talking with, and I says that's my mantra. Read and follow the label instructions. They're there for a reason. When following those instructions, as it'll even say, you'll go through and it'll tell you at the beginning to read all the instructions first, and then it tells you usually at the end of all the instructions, when following these instructions, they are safe and effective as directed. They will do what we say here if you do what we say here. It's not as do as I say, not as I do. It's do as we wrote. And
I take away two important reasons for following instructions. Number one is your garden.
Is your garden is what you are growing for your consumption, for your own. If you're gardening for the wildlife, you want to be one thing you're taking away is being a good steward, even if you are using.
Number two is the environment.
Yourself, your own safety, and health, the health of your family and pets and things like that, the health of what you're growing if you're going to be consuming it, and being a proper steward of the environment, because they can work together. I mean, I know there are some people who say that absolutely no chemical is a good chemical or synthetic and things like that. And I think there are ways of joining them together to where, with proper knowledge, with educating yourself when you're going to use them. Don't just pick the item up off the market because the commercial on the television told you to do so.
Right. Do you know, when I was a kid, I used to go to this house, a friend of the family, I think, up in Connecticut, and this lady had a garden, and like when I picture gardens, I always picture like mini farms with those like rows of lettuce. Right. But she had like, what do you call trellises? What do you call those things?
Right, a trellis,
I mean,
or arbors.
It was just a pretty place to be, and it was just so nice.
And a lot of times nowadays, people are planting what we call edible landscapes, where the shrubs are actually something that will produce fruit. Like having blueberries or planting the strawberry guavas, pineapple guavas, things like that. Adding a fig tree into the yard for, it's a tree. It's bringing in shade, but it's also giving you figs. So a lot of people are doing that, and then creating an arbor, and here are your grapes growing above that, and things like that.
Oh wow, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
And people do that frequently.
You live in a very green place. I love the area you live in. Our
place is woods, pretty much. It's right on the edge of the city limits.
You like in a little covey-all of your own.
It's sort of tucked back in there. But it's it's a wooded area right on the edge of the city limits, and that's good. Yeah, but that's again that protecting those items is what, reading, following label directions.
The show after yours is Bob Kennedy's real estate show, and I would imagine that if you're trying to sell your house, I don't know, maybe he can answer this, but I bet there's an added, well, I don't know if there's an added value because of a garden, but I bet you it's easier to sell if it's simply attractive because of a garden.
Exactly, that a lot of times, and some of the areas where I work, you'll have people coming in where they're buying a little bit of, landscaping materials because they're putting their house up on the market and they need to plant a couple planters for by the front door, or they need to replace a couple of shrubs that maybe they had ignored and weren't, were not attractive, and so they're replacing them now so that they can maybe get the house up for sale. Those kind of things that a lot of times you find that people do that to bring the value up.
I got my phone buzzing, and you got a phone call in here.
Coming in. Well, let's answer mine.
Thank you. Yeah, let's go to your. Good morning. You're on the air with Carolyn. Oh, I think they left. I don't see them on the screen anymore. Call back. That was me. I wasn't.
Larry wasn't paying any
attention. I was.
He was, but he wasn't. He had his too many hands. Not enough hands and too many things needing.
Hold on. I think we got it now. Good morning. You're on the air with Carolyn.
Good morning. That was me.
Okay. Good morning.
I didn't hear anything, so I didn't know if it went through and I hung up.
Okay, no problem.
I have a question about using covering for the garden. I saw this really neat DVD or show.
Okay.
You might have heard of it, Back to Eden.
Okay, I've heard of it. I haven't watched.
Well, I went to, and you can watch it free, but streaming it, but
right.
I just went ahead and bought the DVD, and it was fascinating about how to, just looking around us and noticing that everything is covered.
Right.
Actually. So this man advocates using, any kind of covering, and he's had really good success with his vegetables that grow just, really, they're really good, and he doesn't even rotate. They just grow the same because he copies what he sees out there in the woods and everything. So I want to try it because where we live, I've got just nothing but weeds and the stinging nettles, and I've gotten kind of discouraged about gardening as far as producing food.
Okay.
And I'm doing this 100% organically with just horse manure, but I've just found in the last several years I'm just always fighting weeds.
Right.
So I want to try wood chips, which is what he recommended on the DVD. Just,
right.
And he said you can find them usually free. I'm having kind of trouble finding anybody out here in the North Marion County area right now, with the big trucks that have the chips.
Right.
We have a place down the road that has a bunch of, it's a wood resource recovery center.
Right.
My question is, first of all, have you had any success with wood chips? And second, is there a good place to find them very low cost?
Okay.
Free besides the the tree companies?
Right. Generally, your tree companies are probably going to be ones that would gladly give them to you because they have to pay to dump them. They have to pay to dispose of them. And I have used the wood chips that have come from like the county where they trim the power lines and things like that. They have a tendency to be big pieces, or they can be. Or sometimes it's even just very fine shred because it's the ends of branches and very leafy. I've used them mostly in walkways and pathways versus in the garden beds because you also don't know what pathogens may have been in there as well. You figure all those guys are doing is cutting the stuff down and feeding it through a shredder. It has no standard on size or whether or not it is any disease or seed or anything like that coming in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only drawback from it is it does, but if you have pathways, walkways, it holds up generally very well because the pieces are a little larger. When you're purchasing mulch, wood chips, wood chips are mulch. It's generally sized, on how big your pieces will be. It's more uniform. So it's easier to work with. You might try, I know bag goods, actually most of the stores will be having their I call them mulch wars coming up here pretty soon, but they have a tendency, and I'm not a fan of the colored mulches and things like that. They just color them so that all the wood's the same color because it's a mix of wood product. Not necessarily all pine, not necessarily all, one thing or another.
Yeah, these wood chips, he said specifically, have to be small. They can't be the kind where they're all these big, large pieces because they don't break down.
Right.
They have to break down into the soil to make this really rich bed to grow the vegetables. So, okay, so I guess that's something to consider then.
Right, and you say you've been battling weeds in these areas where you want to plant, like the thistle and things like that. Mm-hmm. Have you tried doing like the lasagna type bed, or even putting down, say, tilling somewhat the bottom layer right on the ground layer, cleaning that out the best that you can, and then putting newspaper down or cardboard down underneath, and then build your bed up on top of it. It might work. You may not be able to do your whole garden in 1 year, but you can get your costs down by, like you say, you have access to aged manure and other composts, and you may not need to buy as much wood chips, using your wood chips as your mulch. You can also use your shredded paper. If you own a paper shredder, just don't use the glossy sections of the newspaper, and try not to have the colored ink parts, but running the newspaper through the paper shredder, and putting that around your beds over a period of time. That paper's going to break down. It is going to put in some nutrient, or at least some bulk to the sand that we have.
Yes, I've tried that, and cardboard is cheap.
Right.
Do you happen to know where to get newspaper by the bulk that's cheap or free?
You might ask your neighbors who subscribe.
I mean, it used to be at the the recycling center.
Right, but you're not allowed to take anything.
Get it, but now they put it all together. We can't do that anymore.
Right, and I think even before you weren't supposed to take any. You were
no, we got permission from the person working there. Well, anyway, this gives me. I've done that. The lasagna, it does work. I just wanted to try something different. So.
Sure. Yeah, trying to get the chips. You might try, because it's not real expensive. If you have a place to have them dump what they call mini bark, and you're more than likely going to find that in a bulk situation where you might either go have your pickup truck filled, or order a dump truck load, order a couple yards, and it's not super expensive, and it's going to last for a while.
Right.
And go a long ways. It will go a long ways.
All right. Thank you, Carol Ann.
You're welcome.
Right. And thank you for the call. Carolyn, we need to take a little break, and we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Mostly cloudy today with a shower in spots, high 68 to 78. Tonight and tomorrow, mainly cloudy with a shower at a few locations. A low tonight, 50 to 58. Tomorrow's high 69 to 79. And then as we get into Thursday, mostly cloudy with a brief shower or two. Could be a couple of thunderstorms near the coast with a high Thursday between 66 and 77. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Cookies. When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. That's right. The Great American Cookie Company in the Paddock Mall, Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. You might notice that I said fun and delicious more than once. That's because I can't say it enough. The next time you're at the mall, be sure and stop by or call 352-237-2557 to place your order.
Cookies.
Yum.
Cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
The Great American Cookie Company.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Let's give it up for old asphalt and a new pair of shoes. Let's give it up for a good rhythm meeting a sweet melody. For a church cookout under clear skies. Let's give it up for good things coming together, like bundling your auto and other policies together with an Allstate agent, which can save you time and keep you better protected. Let's give it up for good.
To receive your comparative insurance quote, contact the McDonald Agency at 622-2333.
We are The Source, WOCA.
All right, 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. Remember, follow instructions. I'll always think of you, Carolyn. No matter when I see somebody not following instructions, I'm always going to think of you, especially when it's on a bottle of something.
On something, right. You would not follow the instructions the first time making a recipe. The second time maybe you wouldn't, because
right,
you know,
point,
okay, it's pretty well, I know what I'm doing. But most people know the instructions on how to make certain things, certain steps, and all the rest of it. So it's one of those things.
Yeah.
We have instructions everywhere in life. So many times we just want to ignore them and do it our own way. Do that when you mix a drink or make Kool-Aid, but yeah.
Right.
You're not hurting anything. Was going to say, just to get people thinking about it, I'm doing another bottle of Preen today. It's the Southern Weed Preventer with the power top, the battery-powered applicator that you flip open. You can see the battery's not been pulled out yet. You open that up. It's got a little motor in there. Put it out there. These are for flower beds. They are not for vegetable gardens.
And is that the one that's not considered organic?
Right. That's why this is not for use in vegetable gardens or in lawns, but it will help to prevent your weeds for 4 months. It does not kill existing weeds, but it is one that does help to prevent them. And with the battery-powered applicator, it allows you to get, so you can't reach past those to get to those bushes, to get to those areas behind the shrubs. You can point that and it'll aim that back there for a more even coverage back behind, underneath, just possibly a little bit easier to get it spread out the way it needed to be. And the bottle does go about a little over 1,000 square feet. It's 1,120 square feet. So nice sized garden area, flower and landscape area.
So the lady who had a weed part of her
problem. She wouldn't want this because it's for edibles, right? And this prevents weed seed, not necessarily some of those perennials that come up from their own root zone. But I did want to mention that we're going to do that if somebody is interested. Maybe at the next break at the bottom of the hour, we'll go ahead and give that away. You just have to want it, that's all. But I do have another item today that we have the gift certificate for Bob Wine's Nursery.
Right.
And to go hand in hand with that, because this is the time of year a lot of publishers start sending us books. And we've got Attracting Hummingbirds and Butterflies in Tropical Florida, A Companion for Gardeners by Roger L. Hammer. And I'm going to put that with that so that when you go to Bob Wine's to get, to buy yourself some plants, here's an idea that you can get you some butterfly plants. Beautiful color photographs and descriptions on some of the plants, on several plants.
That's a nice book,
that are different. They're giving you the native range, if they are, because there's some of them that said hybrid of hybrid origin. The native range, North America and Cuba. So it's got different ways, your flowering season, different comments, synonyms, so that if you know the plant by one name, you may not know it by another one. But Roger Hammer is a professional naturalist and is an honorary Doctor of Science degree from Florida International University, and he is an author of several other books, including Everglades Wildflowers and Florida Keys Wildflowers. And this is a University Press of Florida. It is available if you wanted to go to upf.com. Looks like it's retailing for $24.95. So real nice book, and that'll go with the Bob Wines gift certificate at the end of the
$45 price.
Right, at the end of the show.
All right. So. I'll have to dig up a question.
You'll have to get a good question on that.
I will try to pay attention so I can ask a question.
Or something, find us something on butterflies, possibly.
Maybe, yeah.
There you go. But, and going on that, because I mentioned the one was a hybrid or the native type things that you handed me this morning, a news clip there that was on the Florida DEP and the Park Service looking to encourage residents to join together on observing National Invasive Species Awareness Week. That's quite a mouthful.
Yeah.
And what that is make yourself aware of some of these plants that have been introduced into the state of Florida. Most of the time, it's been years and years and years ago. Back in the 1800s,
right.
Early 1900s.
But one of the things they advise is that if you're hiking, let's say in Georgia,
right,
clean your shoes before you come back here.
Come back to Florida,
because you're going to have some seeds in the shoes.
That's right. You're going to have collected seeds on your shoelaces, in the treads of your shoes. Right. If you go kayaking or canoeing and things like that, of making sure that you don't bring things back. Don't empty your fish tank into the local lakes or ponds, with there's one goldfish left, we'll just let him go kind of thing. Don't do that. There's organisms in there as well as that goldfish. It's like the whole alligator in the New York sewers kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
Don't flush him down the toilet. It's not, the swirly ride is kind of cruel. And, cleaning off your boats. And I recall as a kid when we used to camp up and down the East Coast, you would stop at some of the agricultural way stations when they were having inspections. And that was that they were looking at undersides of RVs and cars and such like that for the gypsy moth caterpillar.
Oh, wow.
Because it was getting transported.
That must have been hard to find. I wonder how many they found.
I'm not sure, but it was a regular inspection kind of thing where you stopped. And in Florida, we don't have a problem with the gypsy moth. And it's that it somehow cannot complete its life cycle down here. So we're lucky on that one. But, it's one pest we don't have. Let's be thankful. But it's also the invasive, it's plant species as well. Like we've had the air potato, kudzu. Yeah. They were brought in for a good reason. It's just we didn't know what might happen later. Kogan grass, same kind of thing. Kogan grass is a mean one because it's if you try to burn it out, like some plants, you can just burn them and get rid of them. No, that makes it grow all the better. Most herbicides don't seem to really work on it because of the extensive root system it has. But it was originally introduced hoping to be fodder for cattle. Very cheap, very quick growing, and they don't eat it because it's very sharp. Also, so it's one of those things as if you've got natural property or you're looking at your own areas, you do go out and enjoy the wild areas in the state or out of state. Don't bring your firewood with you. Buy your firewood or get it in those areas and burn it all. Don't carry it back. You carry pests back and forth, diseases back and forth. So
it was interesting looking at the list of recommendations to
what to do is they're saying 6 ways you can help. Learn about the invasive species, especially those found in your region. Wear clean hiking boots, waders, boats. Well, I'm not going to think I'm going to wear a boat and trailer, but wear, clean your hiking boots, waders, boats and trailers, off-road vehicles, and other gear to stop invasive species from hitching a ride to a new location. Avoid dumping your aquariums or live wells into waterways. Don't move firewood from one part of the state to another, or from one state to another. Buy it where you burn it.
Really.
Well, we'll take a quick break. Right. Whoever wants this preen bottle, give us a call during the break.
All right. 622-WOCA. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. On Capitol Hill, an impasse over immigration puts the Homeland Security Department in danger of a shutdown. Latest move is from the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, who says he'll split the immigration language from the funding part of the bill. Alaska joins Washington State and Colorado in legalizing marijuana.
It bans smoking in public but doesn't define what that means. And lawmakers have left the question to the Alcohol Regulatory Board. Adults can not only keep and use pot in Alaska, but they can transport, grow it, and and give it away.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers.
The second phase will create a regulated and taxed marijuana. It won't start until next year at the earliest. But while possession is no longer a crime under state law, enjoying pot in public can get you a $100 fine.
And Spanish authorities announced the breakup of a ring dedicated to recruiting young women to join the Islamic State extremist group. Fox News. We report, you decide.
You're running your business, and we at Wix.com know things can get stressful. But creating your website doesn't have to be. With Wix, you can create a professional website all by yourself. It's easy and free. You don't have to be a programmer. Just drag and drop everything into place. It's your website, your style. Show the world what you can do. Go to Wix.com and create your own stunning website today. It's easy and free.
What's the secret to great business trips? Choice Hotels, where you'll find everything a business traveler needs, like a generous rewards program. And right now, choose Choice twice for 2 separate trips and get a night at no price. Stay for business at Choice Hotels and book now at choicehotels.com. Great endings begin here. Free night based on an 8,000-point Choice Privileges Reward night at over 1,500 hotels. Valid 2/19/15 through 4/22/15. Requires registration and 2 separate qualifying stays. Other terms and conditions apply. Details at choicehotels.com.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Since selfies are often shot from below, the neck looks either fattier or saggier from that angle. So more people are seeking under the chin or double chin lipo, chin implants, and neck lifts to remove excess skin. Sleep on it. Trying to force a resolution when you're both exhausted can make things worse. So try tart cherry juice if you have any issues with joint pain or inflammation, and you just might sleep better too.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is the place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs.
Proud sponsor of College of Central Florida basketball on WOCA The Source.
Join us on Saturday, March 7, 2015 for the second annual Habitat Strawberries Festival at the McPherson Government Complex. The goal of this festival is not only to provide a great time for families in Ocala, but to also raise funds to build a home for our family and our community and support Habitat for Humanity's mission to strengthen communities, build hope, and provide dignified housing solutions. Remember, Saturday, March 7, 2015 for the second annual Habitat Strawberries Festival at the McPherson Government Complex, which starts at 7 a.m. with breakfast.
So you need a credit card, but how do you choose? Let's compare the big banks to Florida Credit Union. They have rewards, and we do too. They have customer service. Hello, 24/7. They have celebrities. Hey, Danny. But with Florida Credit Union, there's no annual fee, no liability for fraudulent charges, and no 22% interest rates. Choose Florida Credit Union, and you'll not only have a great credit card, but you'll have the support and personal touch that the big banks, well, can't touch. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Hello, I'm Marie Osmond, co-founder of Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, inviting you to visit your local IHOP restaurant on March 3rd for the 10th annual National Pancake Day. Come in for a free short stack of buttermilk pancakes and join IHOP in supporting your Children's Miracle Network Hospital with a donation. So please join us. You know, these just might be the most important pancakes that you eat all year.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new
trunk.
Yep,
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock, and Carol Ann Baldwin is here. If you have a question for Carol Ann or just want to join in on the conversation, you're invited to do either or. The number is 622-9622. And we have a prize at the end of this half hour. It is a $20 gift certificate to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery and the book, which is called?
Attracting Hummingbirds and Butterflies in Tropical Florida, a companion for gardeners.
That's what you want. You want butterflies and hummingbirds in your garden.
In your garden. Come into your garden. And another thought on what our gardens are doing after that horrific cold we had last week. We have a tendency to want to run out. We had 2 gorgeous days over the weekend. Today's a little icky out.
Cool temperatures are coming back in.
Yeah, we're having cool temperatures, but I don't think we're going to get one of those horrible drops in temperatures like we had. That was kind of freak to have that get so low. But if you noticed, even if you covered, frost blanket is frost blanket. It is not freeze protection. Your perennials, which are supposed to freeze back at some point, that's hence the name perennial, means they come back from being frozen out. Gives them a chance to refresh. When you do cut them back, try to put off cutting them back. If there's sticks right now, go through there, run your hand through it, and pull off all the dead stuff. Give it another couple weeks. Our last expected frost date's about the 15th of March. I have seen cold weather come after that, but normally we're pretty good between then, from then on.
And you have a phone call? Good morning, you're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Say, Carol, you mentioned last week's cold. The grass was doing so good this winter because we never had a super cold spell, but we had cool spells, and the grass was looking really nice, and I was spot cutting here and there, and boy, next week came along, or last week rather, and bang, we're right back down to ground zero again, and I was just wondering what your opinion would be on if I would use ryegrass like next year and go over the lawn with that. Would that help protect the grass, the new grass, the permanent grass that comes in starting in March or April? Would that be a good idea?
If you were putting it down in, say, October, November, which is usually the best time to get the ryegrass down, yes, it does help some. Because it will be what will get the cold and could lay over on top of the grass. I'm not going to say it's going to fully protect it, but it can help offer some protection for your grass.
Yeah, of course, it looks mighty. You can't beat the looks of ryegrass in the wintertime. You go by somebody's golf courses, or a private property.
Right, and the horse
really
farms,
beautiful,
Right, and some of the farms that have the rye that's growing out there. The only thing with your ryegrass is that you still need to mow during the winter months, and that you may be irrigating a little bit in the wintertime as well. You don't need to continue to fertilize. That's one thing I still would not do in the winter months is put any fertilization down. But if you've done a good fertilization in September for your lawn to keep it healthy, to get it fed before the winter months, there should be enough in that soil for the ryegrass to thrive all winter long with that. And that you're mowing, those clippings will drop back in. Again, remember, every time you mow the grass, you're putting a nitrogen source back in the lawn. So adding more nitrogen, with a fertilizer is not necessary during that time of year. So, but yes, it would offer some protection, and that is why some people put it down, not just to have the green lawn, but that it does protect the lawn somewhat throughout the winter months.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of doing that under perfect conditions for ryegrass. Would that grass become kind of an aggressive grower? I mean, where you're talking, you got to cut at least once a week, if not more. You may, if it's warm enough out. If we have our ideal winters, yes, you may be cutting once a week. Really? Yeah, it is. It may take a couple weeks for it to come up, but once it comes up and it starts growing, it can grow because it can get very tall. So you will want to keep it mowed. Are we talking the 3-inch rule on cutting? I would be cutting it just a little higher than what your lawn would normally be cut, so that it offers that protection. Not a lot, just a little bit, because you don't want to shade your lawn out with the ryegrass. Right. And to apply the ryegrass, you just need a spreader, right? You just throw the spreader and walk around, right? Right, and you could put it in the spreader, throw that down. You might then come back and top dress it either with some sand or with some cow manure, topsoil, something like that, just a little bit, and water it in. And that way, even the sand and things like that, again, benefit your soil in the long run, over time, especially if you are using, like, say, the topsoil or the manure, though I do find topsoil is almost sand. Doesn't have a whole lot of extra in it, but your manures would. is ryegrass fairly costly, or should I, because I've got an acre lot, go to like a place like Farm and Fleet or something like that and buy like a large bag?
You might do better at a feed store getting the real big bag than trying to go to the big box of home improvement stores and getting it. Yes, your markup's going to be greater in those stores than say the Seminole or Tractor Supply or somewhere like that.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah, this time of year, and that would have been a great thing to do back in the October, November time is about the ideal time to put it in. This time of year, I've had a couple people looking for some, seeing it, because again, they may be putting their house up for sale, and it does come up rather quickly, but it's not as easily able to be found this time of year because we're really at the end of the season. Once we warm up and get consistently warm, it's going to start to die off. You'll find that it'll still be green underneath big shade trees, the big oak trees, or on that shaded side of the house because it stays a little more cool, a little more moist. But out in your lawn, that's okay. It's going to die off as your other grass becomes out of its dormancy.
Right.
Stay away from the fertilizers still yet. If you've got some weed control you need to do that. I prefer to do that as a liquid form, this couple weeks before it's time to put the fertilizer down. Do your lawn fertilizer, your basic turf fertilizer between like the 15th and 30th of March. Get that down, and that's your grass should have been coming up out of that dormancy. And just follow the directions on that. If you do use a weed and feed, which I'm not a fan of, I don't care the brand, I'm just not a fan of weed and feeds, I would wait until, again, that same time period. So you're delaying your weed control by a couple weeks by using a weed and feed. With that said, if you've used like the crabgrass preventers, and other preventer that are for your turf, the Halts, the Crab X, whoever else's brand is out there, you're getting ready to put that second application down. The first one would have been the 1st of February. Second one will be the 15th of March. Around approximately. After the 15th of March, we have a tendency to warm up too quickly. Those grasses, that crabgrass, begin to germinate rather quickly. They grow very quickly, and unless they're really tiny, those preventers won't kill them off, and the weed seed's already germinating. It's not doing any good.
Wow. The perennial, I want to ask you something.
Okay.
Are what's it called, bougainvillea?
Bougainvillea,
is that that's called a perennial?
It's a tropical, but I would call it a perennial in this area. It doesn't always freeze all the way back, but they did take a hit.
But see, mine did. And I always want them to freeze. I always want them to go away.
Yeah, I know. You want it to die
but
completely.
But they come back.
Yeah, has a fabulous root zone under there.
It's a very hardy plant, isn't it?
It is. It's a tropical, but it is a hardy tropical, very thorny. But yes, they freeze, and they do come back because the root zone is there to protect them. And in the stores, you're looking right now, don't run out there and start planting yet. On your perennials. We do got another cold batch coming in, but get your beds ready. If you do know that you need to replace some stuff, you're getting ready to do your mulch. We have some cool weather here. Get your supplies in advance if you can. If you've got a place on the side of the garage or the carport, lay you down a tarp. When the mulch and things like that go on sale, your topsoils, your manures, your whatever your favorite amendments are go on sale, set them there. You get a good weekend. You can do it all, and you've got everything there. You don't have to leave the house till you're done.
Carolyn, we're up against another break. So we're going to take that little break, and we'll be right back. I'm sorry. I'm looking for a question for the trivia thing in a few minutes. All right. If you have a question or you want to just call Carolyn and say, howdy do, the phone number is 622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Mostly cloudy today with a shower in spots, high 68 to 78. Tonight and tomorrow, mainly cloudy with a shower at a few locations. A low tonight, 50 to 58. Tomorrow's high 69 to 79. And then as we get into Thursday, mostly cloudy with a brief shower or two. Could be a couple of thunderstorms near the coast with a high Thursday between 66 and 77. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Hi, I'm Leah Maria Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services. When your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements, from damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
All right, thank you. 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. It's kind of overcast today, huh, Carolyn?
It is. It's supposed to be a little rainy and things like that today. Going to be chillier today and tomorrow, but we'll get through. We'll make it through. Hopefully the temperature doesn't drop too much. Just looking at a couple things to mark your calendar. This Friday at the On Top of the World Master the Possibilities Education Center, a mouthful there too. From 9 to 10:30 is a seminar on annuals and perennials, and that way you can think about what you're looking to put into your landscape. Good timing here with that. Then coming up on the 3rd of March, the Dunellen Satellite Plant Clinic will be just having a visit the library and have your gardening questions answered by the pros, by the experts. So the master gardeners will be there. And on the 3rd or the 4th of March, the demonstration garden tour is going on, and those kind of things coming up. Another one, if you've got children or grandchildren and looking for a little something for them to do this summer when school gets out, and I mention it now because it's that time of year when people start to think about those things, is the Marion Sprouts Summer Camp. Cute little camp. It's a day camp, so it's not drop your kid off and go take a week's vacation. It is a day camp. I would never
have done that.
But
I enjoyed going with my.
Yeah, oh yeah. But this one's a day camp for the kids. Let me find the age thing. Ages 8 to 14 are welcome. Registration deadline will be May the 15th, and space is limited, so you do have to register early. And it's introduce your youth to the art and science of gardening at the Marion Sprouts Summer Camp. Plant growth and development, water, gardening for food, soils, garden pests, career exploration, plant identification, and environmental horticulture. It's a really neat event, and they of course need, with the ages between 8 and 14, obviously they should be able to read and write on their own, because it's a hands-on. It's not it is a learning camp. It's not just fun and games. Registration is $75 per person, and this covers the cost of all the supplies. You could call over to the extension office and ask to speak with somebody, 671-8400. But again, the registration deadline on that is May the 15th, but you can get more information from the Ag Center. So that way. Finding something for the kiddies to do this summer. It's just a 1 week one. They don't do it over and over again like some of the other camps that are available. But gives them, and it keeps them learning. It's not all just fun. You can have fun and still learn at the same time. If you can't do that, why have fun?
Right.
Why have fun if you can't
it?
learn something too? But and again,
there's plenty of reasons to.
Yeah,
I can think of some.
Yeah, you're gonna think of some, but I bet you just about anything you do that's fun. You probably
a water slide. The water slide's fun. What do you learn?
Sometimes of how high you can go and you come off the end of it. I don't know, to wait your turn so you don't hit the guy at the bottom, or you hope that the guy at the top waits his turn. But and of course everybody remembers the Master Gardener Spring Festival on March the 14th and 15th. And there's a lot of the other festivals going on or coming up. All on gardening. It's the beginning of that gardening season. Yeah. So anytime you can find a spot to pick up some information, do so. Realizing a lot of times a lot of people come into the garden centers in the stores. Remember that they hire part-time people during these times of year. They may or may not know much about plants. Right. Their job is to help you find things or to load those big heavy bags onto your cart that you want to take away. So what you need to do is educate yourself before you get there to where you kind of know what it is, or learn too that a lot of the products out there, a lot of the plant material out there is I call it color-coded. They have the tagging and the signage from the nurseries where they're grown that give you plant information of whether or not it needs full sun, if it needs a lot of water or less water, its growing height and things like that. I don't know the percentage of people with smartphones, but if you download any of the scan apps, the Mobi apps, MobiTag, the store apps themselves many times have a tool section in there that allows you to scan their barcodes, pops up with the information, many times with the price as well, or maybe just the price. So you're going, I don't know how much it costs, I can't find anybody. You may be able to find it out, answer your own question with some of those. And the little QR codes, on the things many times will give you that information. I know that it was a really cool thing that first came up, and I don't think people utilized it the way, and I don't think businesses did. Plants, they tried to. But you could, sometimes, like I said, just as something so you don't go into these stores going, oh, all these people are idiots. They're not. They're hired. They're hired. They needed a job, and stores need people to fill those positions. Right. They need people to water plants. They need people to stock those shelves. And this is a very busy springtime season. They're not all horticulturalists. Give them a break. I guess that's my point.
Good point.
Come prepared. You probably know more. Come prepared for what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And so just as a little.
So do you want me to do the question now? Since we got the book, we might have extra time because I think I got a pretty easy one.
Okay.
So we have a $20 gift certificate to Bob Wines.
Right.
And the book, which is worth $25, and that's called?
That's called Attracting Hummingbirds and Butterflies in Tropical Florida, a Companion for Gardeners.
Okay. So I have a question that I need the correct answer for, and that correct answer will earn you the book and the gift certificate. I'm looking let me just tell you what I have
Okay.
here. Florida's hot summers and sandy soils can pose a challenge for some plants, but not this one.
Okay.
Not the one I'm going to tell you about. This is a perennial. Tell you that because that's the rabbit trail I started. Okay. All right. Now this is related to another common version of this. The common version has a very edible part to it.
Okay.
Now, this one is more ornamental. It pretty much lives. If you're near the salt water, it'll still survive. It's very good for Florida, according to everything I've been reading. But it does not produce the same edible thing that the common relative does.
Okay.
This, in fact, produces yellow flowers. You know what it is already?
I believe I
So
think I
you
know
can take
what-
those yellow flowers and add it to your salads and your stir fries, and it gives it a nutty flavor and a crunchy texture. Must be hard flowers, huh?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what it says.
I think I might
All right,
be
so
on a different one.
if you know what plant I'm talking about, and Carolyn, you have to help me because maybe there's more than one that fits that description. Good morning. Do you know what I might be talking about?
I'm just thinking wild guess. Is it a cacti?
No. Were you thinking?
I didn't
No.
know what she's.
Cactus. No. Gosh, I hope it doesn't fit the description. Good morning. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's not a dandelion, is it?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I don't think it is.
The common version of this, I think there's a plant a plant meaning a manufacturing plant in Williston that works with the relative.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Gotcha. I
She-
gotcha.
all right.
Yeah.
Caroline knows
yeah.
what it is. Good morning. Do you know what I might be talking about? Are you there? Well, let me try.
I can give a hint.
Give a hint.
I'll say let's see, the one that you're looking for as a perennial. It's a ground cover.
That's what it says. Yeah,
It's a ground cover, and I'll say it's a fairly new introduction, probably within the last
2010 is what it said.
Okay, I was going to say about 5 years.
The University of Florida somehow
Right.
said, "Go for this one." or
Go
something.
for this
Yeah.
one. It is used. It does have a pretty yellow flower and a I'll call it a bright green leaf.
All right. I don't know if I've ever seen this. Good morning.
Yeah.
Do you know what it might be?
Well, I have it in several areas of my yard, and I believe you're talking about the beach sunflower.
No.
Oh, no. So does that
It's
fit the same
not the
description?
beach. It's
All
not
right.
the beach sunflower. That's what I initially was thinking it was.
All right, let's try another one. Good morning. Do you know what it might be?
Oh, no. Am I allowed to answer this question?
You are. Sure, why not?
Yeah, because this isn't for the preen. This is for the other. This is for Bob Wines.
Oh, I know, and I don't need that. I just want to answer the question.
Go ahead.
Okay.
How about peanut peanut?
Perennial peanut is correct.
Yeah. Well, who's this? What's your first
Sharon.
name? Sharon. Well, you got the gift certificate and the book.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I didn't know that you could eat the yellow flowers off that perennial peanut, but it does make a great ground cover.
Yeah, I didn't know you could either. That's because I was thinking back to the other part of it of the regular plant. Thinking at first I had, because I can't see his screen unless I get up and walk around. I at first was thinking the beach sunflower too, because the sunflower has the edible seed, and the other would not. And peanuts, you got the common peanut that we
peanut.
think of is the so.
You can eat the seed off of the beach sunflower.
No, but a regular sunflower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where I was. That's where my brain was going, and that's same with Lauren.
And is that the perennial? So technically,
yeah.
technically, my description was actually describing more than one
Two
thing.
different, but that's true in
Oh,
a
wow.
way.
Okay,
Yeah.
so-
But that's okay.
So you were right, but you didn't win. I'm sorry.
But Sharon won. So,
Sharon, you got the.
Have a great day and stay warm.
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
you
you.
too.
And dry.
And dry,
warm
yes,
and dry,
warm
yeah.
and dry.
Yes.
That's always a good
And
thing.
safe, yeah, safe,
Yes,
safe.
warm, safe, and dry.
Well, that was kind of a fun one, huh?
That was. But yes, the beach sunflower is again a ground cover. Does like the sand,
The
tolerates
sunflower
salt.
or the perennial peanut?
The perennial sunflower.
They do the same thing?
They both, but the perennial, you will find the beach sunflower growing at the beach.
And this says it grows near the beach too, the peanut.
It probably will tolerate the salty.
But it's called
the
a
salt
peanut,
air.
but there's no peanut involved?
It is a perennial because I think it does make its peanut underground, but it's not
Not a good
it's
one.
not an edible.
You don't want to eat
right,
that one,
You
huh?
don't want to eat that one.
But you eat the flower.
Apparently, I didn't know you could.
Who knew?
Yeah, who knew?
Who knew? We learn something new all the time.
That's so. See, I told you, and we had fun doing it.
Yeah, but here comes Stanley. Are you
Here
ready?
comes Stan. All right.
Well, thank you, Caroline.
Thank you, Larry. Another great show.
Always fun. And go get your perennial peanuts that have the ground cover.
Ground cover.
You wouldn't
that's
have to cut the lawn anymore.
No, you wouldn't, and it's nice and low. It's a great plant.
Maybe I'll do that. Thank you, Caroline.
Thanks, Larry.
All right, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Lillian Wu. We're getting word of multiple injuries after a commuter train collision with a truck on the tracks in Southern California. Train derailing, 3 cars have tumbled on their sides. This in Oxnard.